Congrats on having an app that can be deployed to the App Store. In Section 6, we'll be reviewing the Android and iOS App Store upload processes. Let's start with Apple's App Store. If you're planning on deploying an app to the App Store, you'll need to enroll in the Apple Developer Program. The Apple Developer Program is a yearly membership that costs $99. With the program, you'll be able to upload an app to the App Store for iOS, macOS, and watchOS. Besides this very important feature of the program, you'd also have access to betas of the software, Apple's analytics platform, and the ability to utilize TestFlight. You won't be required to purchase this for the course, but if you ever want to upload an app, it will be required. Apple uses a concept of code signing through certificates. Signing your app allows iOS to identify who signed your app and to verify that your app hasn't been modified since you signed it. To create a certificate, you'll need to have a Mac computer. First, you'll need to go to the Apple Developer Console and navigate into the Certificate and ID screen. There, you'll see the option to see certificates, keys, identifiers, devices, and provisioning profiles. If you navigate to the certificates and choose the option to add one, this is the screen you'd get. You can either create a development certificate or a production certificate. As you can see, there are way more options to create a production certificate. Both push notifications and your app will need certificates. So, how does Apple know that you created the certificate when signing it? Well, that's where having a Mac becomes necessary. Apple is going to request that the developer creates a certificate signing request or a CSR file. You'll do this using the Keychain Access app, built in on Mac computers. In Keychain Access, there's the option to request a certificate from a certificate authority. That request will prompt this screen, which will create the CSR. When you upload the newly created CSR, Apple will provide you a certificate that is now assigned to the computer that created it. Now, only that computer can generate the P12 file that is required by Apple to upload to the Apple App Store. A provisioning profile is a collection of digital entities that uniquely ties developers and devices to an authorized iPhone development team and enables a device to be used for testing. A development provisioning profile must be installed on each device on which you wish to run your application code. Each development provisioning profile will contain a set of iPhone development certificates, unique device identifiers, and an app ID. Devices specified within the provisioning profile can be used for testing only by those individuals whose iPhone development certificates are included in the profile. A single device can contain multiple provisioning profiles. Provisioning profiles allow developers and app owners to limit who can install an app on their device by allowing and subsequently not allowing which device is included in a provisioning profile. When you first generate an Apple provisioning profile, you'll have to select the type of profile it'll be. Depending on the type of build you do through either Xcode or another streamlined app build tool like App Center, you'll need a development or distribution profile. Next, you'll select the app ID that's associated with the Apple Bundle ID. According to Apple, if you plan to use services such as Game Center, in-app purchase, and push notifications, or want a bundle ID unique to a single app, you should select an explicit app ID. If you want to create one provisioning profile for multiple apps, or don't have a specific bundle ID, select a wildcard app ID. Wildcard app IDs use an asterisk as the last digit in the bundle ID field. After that, you'd select the specific certificate, which we just discussed, that is also associated with the app ID. You'd only need to do this for an ad hoc or development provisioning profile. An App Store provisioning profile cannot be installed on any specific device without being downloaded from the store or from TestFlight. The last thing you do is name the provisioning profile and download it. Now that we know all the certificate and provisioning profile basics and how to make them through the Apple developer site, let's see how to seamlessly do this through Xcode. So first you'll need to open xcode.exe workspace project inside of the iOS folder. Note, these steps will only work if the team that is assigned in the signing of the app has an Apple developer account. So you have one, you can follow along. Otherwise, I've laid them out here step by step. The first thing to do after assigning a developer account is to set the target of the app to be a generic iOS device. Then, you'll need to archive the build of the app by going to Product Archive. This will kick off a fresh build of the app and can take a little longer than you're used to waiting. After the app is successfully archived, you'll want to distribute the app. After this step, you'll recognize the flow, which asks for an export type of App Store, Ad Hoc, Enterprise, or Development. Then you'll be prompted to select a team for provisioning if you chose the Ad Hoc or Development export type. This is the same as assigning provisioning profile to a certificate on the website. After all of this is said and done, you'll have an IPA file downloaded to your computer. There's only one more step. Whether you use the built-in Xcode GUI, that will elegantly create the IPA file, or use a build system like App Center, you'll be left with a binary build of your app that needs to be listed on the App Store. That's where the App Store Connect GUI comes into play. This is the App Store Connect site. It's here where you'll create an app to list on the App Store and also make subsequent updates to the app. This is also how you'll be able to set up TestFlight, which is an Apple service that allows beta users or testers to use the app before it's listed in the App Store. After you submit to Apple for review, your binary has to pass automatic tests and a human-driven test by Apple. The automatic tests run fairly immediately after uploading, and the manual test can take anywhere between 24 and 36 hours.